day, everybody. It's Michael Levitis from jurisq.com. I'm here with immigration attorney Yakov Spektor. Yakov, welcome back.
Good to be here, Michael.
Thank you. A very practical issue that people keep on asking all the time, and we want to answer it, is how can an illegal immigrant get a driver's license? Because people want to be able to drive cars, not only for leisure, but also for work. So we want to know whether, one, from your knowledge as an immigration attorney, it is possible, and what are some possible pitfalls, or it's completely safe to do so. So what do you say?
Well, I guess one thing that I think all our viewers should know, okay, it's pretty much safe, okay, to go ahead and apply for the driver's license.
Right.
No one, so that lazy sitting at the at the DMV, and you might be immigrants because you might not know. I was an immigrant myself, so I didn't know it either. But when you go to the DMV, okay, and most people who work at the DMV, okay, they couldn't care less about you. Okay, they're not going to go out of their way to report you to immigration.
Right.
Okay, unless they're specifically required to do so, and it really doesn't happen even in the most in the reddest states. Okay, at least I don't know. Look, I'm mostly in New York. In New York, it's completely safe. Okay, in most other states, it's safe as well.
And let's put a label on it. New York City is a sanctuary city, right?
It is, yes. Now, there is a difference between New York City and New York State.
Right. But if you're in New York City, definitely DMV is not going to report you. Police department is not going to report you. Your hospital is not going to report you for being without status in America. And there are some sanctuary states, like you told me off camera, that California, the whole state is sanctuary. You definitely have nothing to worry about, right?
Pretty much, right. Look, the way you guys want to look at it is, if you live at a particular place, okay, that place might either direct its law enforcement, its police, right, to maybe check your immigration status if they pull you over, right, or maybe they would direct once again, because it usually happens in the context of a law enforcement incident, like a stop, like if police stops you, or if police arrests you. Okay, now if the police arrests you, it gets a little trickier, because if while a lot of people would argue and say, hey, you know what, if somebody gets pulled over because his taillight was busted, that's not a reason enough for the police to really to check his immigration status, and for that person potentially to be separated from his family and be deported. Okay, so that's why in most places the police are not instructed in most sanctuary jurisdictions, they're instructed not to really cooperate with federal authorities, or to inquire about your immigration status if they pull you over for something small. Now, when it comes to being arrested, that could be a completely different calculation, because not many people would argue that if you're arrested for something serious, it's not the government's business to also find out if you should even be in this country to begin with.
That makes sense. See, I like it when laws make common sense. They're not there just to punish or satisfy, as you said, a red or blue base, but whether actually they make sense. And what you said does make sense. If somebody is dangerous, may as well get them out of the country. But I'm glad to hear that somebody who doesn't have a status yet can get a driver's license, because as we talked in our previous videos, sometimes even getting married, you're going to need an ID or possible proof of residence that you live in the state, and a driver's license or even a non-driver ID will be very beneficial in establishing your identity.
You're absolutely correct. Yeah. And actually, until fairly recently, okay, you would not be able to get a driver's license in any state unless you could you could prove to the DMV that you either have legal status here, or maybe you're here legally on some sort of a visa, or you're waiting for your legal status to come about. Lately, a lot of states they passed laws, basically, essentially saying, hey, you know what? Maybe it's more important to us that people are licensed. Okay, we have so many illegal immigrants in this country. Let the federal government take care of their immigration situation. Okay, but what we want to do, we want to make sure that if someone is driving our roads, that person has a driver's license if he can get it.
You know what?
And
once again, you make perfect sense, because if somebody gets into a car accident and they're illegal, have no driver's license,
no insurance,
they may run away. They may not have insurance. But if they have a driver's license, you know who they are. There's a possibility to get compensation through your driver's license. You don't have these accidents where people hit and run.
Exactly. It just promotes good behavior. And New York is one of those states. I think Massachusetts is another one. But you definitely want to make sure you don't want to take my word for it. You want to find out go on the web, look up the DMV of your particular state and see if your DMV will give you a driver's license if you have no status, no immigration status. Who knows? You might be pleasantly surprised. Now, the reason why I say that I'm not exactly an expert in this is because the driver's licenses, as most forms of ID, they come from the states. Okay, and in the United States, immigration is usually that's the business of the federal government. Right. But the driver's licenses and other IDs, they will come from the state that you live in. So there is a bit a disconnect there. So while I'm an expert in immigration law, I might not be an expert in whether you can get a driver's license in your particular state. Yeah, but what you do here is you're educating the people. Not only you and I talk about immigration law, sometimes you and I discuss government policy, which is also very interesting to debate. And finally, we're giving people practical advice, such as how to get a driver's license, what to look for, and where to look for information. So we appreciate definitely your input on that. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for listening in. Of course, what you heard here today or any other of our sessions is general educational information. If you want specific advice on your case, if you want to get a second opinion from an immigration attorney, you have to contact Yakov Spektor. The phone number is on the bottom of the screen. Thank you everybody so much. Have a great day. Take care. Thank you, Michael.